Hey guys, it is Skies Pro here, back with my first League of Legends quick build video. Now, what this series, or not series, just what these videos are going to be about is, they're going to be builds that I'm going to put out before my main build videos, where I actually give you gameplay, talk about the champ in depth. These are just going to be builds that are discussing the champion's abilities, the masteries I like to take with them, possible runes, and, I know just their kit and sort of how you should play them, and also their build items. So yeah, now let's just get right into it. The first champion that I'm going to be doing in this episode is GP, or Gangplank, Saltwater Scourge. Let's just get up his stats here, going into my champions. Now GP is one of my mains when I solo top. I really love GP. I love his kit. I just find him really fun. So now yeah, let's look at his things. Relatively high attack power and health or defense. As you can see, he has a bit of AP, but that's just because some of his abilities scale off that, but I'll talk about that later. Not that high difficulty, gotta admit, is not very hard to play, although he is very fun to play. So yeah, I will suggest that anyone who has enough to get him. So yeah, let's go straight into his abilities now. First, we'll start with his passive, which is Grog Soaked Blade. Gangplank's basic attacks and Parlay apply a poison that deals magic damage each second and slows movement speed. Lasts for 3 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. Now, in team fights, it's not going to be relatively noticeable. The only thing, like the damage over 3 seconds isn't that noticeable, but the slow is definitely very useful for CC reasons. When you're 1v1ing people, and you're winning, they're running away, you can activate your Q or your Parlay and get that slow, and it's really useful for just getting and catching up to them, because Gangplank is fast, very fast champion in the first place, sort of like MF with her speed. So yeah, that's passive, relatively useful, not that noticeable, but I don't know, it's good. It's a pretty good passive. So now we have his Parlay. I'll just play the video. Gangplank takes aim and shoots an enemy unit with his pistol. If Parlay deals a killing blow, he gains extra gold and half the mana cost is refunded. This is a very useful ability, and one of his two like offensive abilities. That would be his Q and his R being his offensive abilities. Is really good, very useful. It applies on-hit effects, so if you buy a Shiv or a Black Cleaver or something like that, it will have the armor penetration with the Black Cleaver or the extra damage with the Shiv. That is one of its most useful qualities, I find. Doesn't do that much damage like solo, unless you really built in damage items from the beginning. You're meant to be building Gangplank crit chance, so that his Q does more damage in that way, and so that you keep critting whenever you're 1v1ing. That's really useful. So his parlay is pretty good. It isn't a skill shot, it's just a Q and click. So you press Q and it fires at them, so it's not that hard to play. That's why some people say Gangplank's just super easy, because he has no skill moves. But I don't know, besides his ulti, that's a skill move. But he's pretty fun, and he is relatively high because he doesn't do that much damage. So now moving on to his W, which is Remove Scurvy. Gangplank consumes a large quantity of citrus fruits, which are oranges. That's why everyone goes, "Oh, eat my oranges, nom nom nom." You hear people say that when they're playing Gangplank. That's why. Which clears any crowd control effects on him and heals him. Now, this is absolutely amazing. In my opinion, this is his game-changing ability, because it does heal him for a lot. When you max that out, it heals him for a lot. And this is one of his AP scaling abilities. Although I wouldn't suggest building him AP just for this, because it's not like good. Gangplank isn't a good AP carry. So yeah, but by crowd control effects, it is amazing, because these include all slows, all stuns, binds, or snares, even Ash's ult and ults like that. If you activate his W, he's just out of it straight away, and you have none of the slows or anything like that. So it's an amazing ability. I max it out last, actually, because I just get like 1 point into it, so I can activate those crowd control removals. But yeah, it's really useful in team fights. Raise Morale, which is another very useful ability in team fights. It's Gangplank fires a shot into the air, increasing nearby allied champions' attack damage and movement speed. Now this is like why he's so good in 1v1s, because I think when you max it out, it gives him like 19 extra damage when he basic attacks, and also the movement speed, which is really useful for catching up as well with that Grog Soak Blade. They're just sort of going together, and it does it for all allied champions as well. So I don't think it gives them as much stats as it would to you, but it's still very, very useful. So yeah, now it's ulti, which is Cannon Barrage. This is a whole map ulti, so its radius is all over the map. You can put it anywhere, anytime. Gangplank I'll play the video. Gangplank signals his ship to fire upon an area for 6 seconds, slowing enemies and dealing damage in random locations within the area. Now, don't get confused. It isn't like Ziggs's ult. It is random locations. So that's, but it slows him for 25%, which is very, very good. Like as you can see, Gangplank does actually have quite a bit of CC himself. So yeah, he's a pretty good champion, and those are just his abilities. Now moving on to the masteries that I like to take for him, I go 25 and 5, 25 in the offense, 5 in the defense. I get everything with attack speed, cooldown reduction, attack damage, crits, armor pen, and extra damage, just stuff like that. And then I get the extra health and health regen abilities in the defense. So, yep, now runes, this is the rune page that I like to take for him. As you can see, I'm 1 rune short, but yeah, I get attack quints, crit chance marks, armor seals, and I like to get greater glyphs of attack damage for these, for glyphs, and also greater scaling, 3 greater scaling attack damage glyphs as well. So that's what I get for him. Now his items, this is my build that I like to build for him. As you can see here, Gangplank, starting items with a Brawler's Glove and Health Pot. As I was saying before, you should building him Crit Chance Gangplank. That's the main build, that's how I like to build him. So I get those off the start. That gives him 28% crit chance at the start of the game with my runes. Also, another thing with the runes, I would actually suggest getting a full crit chance rune page with Gangplank. That's what I'm sort of starting now. As you can see, if I go into my second rune page, I've got this quints there. So yeah, I'd suggest getting that actually. But essential items, boost of swiftness, that's just gonna go with your E and your passive to make you even faster. Static Shiv, as I was saying, the on-hit effect is very, very nice with the extra attack speed and crit chance. Really useful item. Philo Stone, not necessary, but I do usually get it just because when you're farming with your Q, you get extra gold when you kill minions with your Q. So I like to farm with it a lot, and that's just useful to allow me to farm heaps. Now the second item I usually get, Infinity Edge, because of the crit chance and damage, and it also makes your crits do even more damage, which is just amazing. Now moving on to your Phantom Dancer, which is probably going to be my third item, or your third item that you get. Attack speed and crit chance, much like the Shiv, and also 5% movement speed. You're going to be extremely, extremely fast, and it's a very good build with heaps of crit. Now the next 2 items, sort of situational, but what I like to get is Warmogs and an Atmas. Warmogs is going to give me health, better sustain, and the Atmas is going to give me that armor, crit, and sorry, my friend's invited me to a game, fuck off. Armor, crit, and also it's going to give you the extra damage with your health, which is going to be good with the Warmogs. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about today in my Gangplank build. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will be giving you Gangplank gameplay soon. So yep, see you guys, bye.